You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Friday, June the 26th, 2020. The Tigers beat the Orioles 11-4. They got 4 runs in the third inning, responding to a 4-run first inning by the Orioles. The game was tied till the Tigers broke the tie in the top of the fifth with a 2-run inning. Then they put up 4 more runs in the top of the sixth, added an extra in the seventh to win by 7 runs. Michael Fulmer got the win, Asher Wojciechowski got the loss, and Ivan Nova earned the save, just his second of the year. Interleague play, the Cardinals and Red Sox played each other. It was a close game, but the Red Sox won 6-5. The Red Sox had the lead toward the middle of the game. They scored 3 in the bottom of the fifth and 2 in the bottom of the sixth inning to give themselves 6 runs. But the Cardinals were coming back. They scored 2 in the eighth and 2 in the ninth, but fell short a run. The Cardinals also out-hit the Red Sox 11-10. Nathan Eovaldi got the win, Dakota Hudson got the loss, and Ryan Brazier earned his second save of the year. Another interleague game, the Cubs played the Yankees, and the Cubs won by a score of 6-3. Each team committed an error in this one, and the Cubs out-hit the Yankees 13-6. Tyler Chatwood got the win, Chad Green got the loss, and Kyle Ryan earned his first save of the year. The Athletics and White Sox played each other in a game that went 12 innings, but the A's came out on top with a 7-5 win. The Athletics also got 10 more hits than the White Sox did, 18-8. And the Athletics won 7-5. Lou Trevino got the win, Jimmy Cordero got the loss, and Liam Hendricks earned his 29th save of the season. The Angels and Blue Jays played each other in a close game. 2-1 was the final score of this one. The Angels got 2 runs in the top of the fourth inning, both their runs total in this game. The Blue Jays scored their 1 run in the bottom of the eighth inning, and each team got 6 hits. It was quite an even game, but the Angels edged out the Blue Jays by 1 run. Shohei Ohtani got the win, Chase Anderson got the loss, and Hansel Robles earned his 24th save of the year. The Mariners beat the Rays by a healthy margin. 13-5 was the final score of this game. It started out closer than it finished, and the Rays actually had the lead after the third inning after they scored 3 runs. It was 3-2. Each team scored a run in the middle of the game, but then the Mariners broke out with a 5-run 6th inning, which pulled them ahead. They scored 3 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th to really secure their win, but they had it ever since the 6th inning. Nestor Cortez Jr. got the win, Anthony Banda got the loss, and Dan Altavilla earned his first save of the year. AL Central Baseball, the Indians and Royals played each other, and the Indians came out on top 6-1. The Indians scored in each of the 3 middle innings in this one. 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth. The Royals could only score 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. They lost by 5. Hunter Wood got the win, and Mike Montgomery got the loss. The Rockies and Twins played each other in an interleague game, and the final score of this one was 11-2. The Twins came out on top. It was a bit closer up until the 8th inning when the Twins put up 7 runs. They ended up winning by 9 total. Kenta Maeda got the win, his 10th of the year. He's still undefeated on the mound, and Herman Marquez, now 6-4 after getting the losing decision in this one. AL West Baseball, the Rangers blanked the Astros 5-0 in this Battle of Texas. Lance Lynn got the win, and Justin Verlander got the loss. The Astros were also limited to just 2 hits in this one, while the Rangers scored 5 runs on 9 hits. The Nationals and Reds played each other, and the Reds won. Final score 5-3. The Reds also snapped a losing streak after this win. Sonny Gray got the win, Eric Fetty got the loss, and Raisel Iglesias earned his 15th save of the year. Close game between the Diamondbacks and the Phillies. 4-3 the final. The Phillies came out on top. The Diamondbacks scored all 3 of their runs in the top of the 2nd inning. The Phillies tied the game in the bottom of the 5th with a 2-run inning, and they scored what we now know is the winning run in that bottom of the 8th inning. Adam Morgan got the win, Yohan Lopez got the loss, and Hector Neris earned his 20th save of the year. NL East Baseball between the Braves and the Marlins, 7-5 the final score of this game. The Braves scored all 7 of their runs in the 6th inning, and that held up. The Marlins had the lead early with a 3-run bottom of the 2nd inning. They also scored a run in the bottom of the 6th in response to the Braves' 7-run top of the inning. The Marlins also scored 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning, but fell short 2 runs. The Marlins also out-hit the Braves 11-9 in this game. Cole Hamels got the win, Sandy Alcantara got the loss, and Will Smith earned his 27th save of the year. The Pirates and Brewers played each other in an NL Central matchup, and the Brewers took the Pirates out 14-2, the final score of this game, and the Pirates had the lead early. They scored 2 in the top of the 1st inning. The Brewers responded with a 1-run bottom of the first. They also tied the game in the second, but they sprung for 7 runs in the bottom of the third inning, a lead that would have lasted on its own, but they scored 2 in the 5th and 3 in the 7th to really bring home this win. 12-run gap the Brewers were able to win by. Eric Lauer got the win, and Chris Archer got the loss. The Mets and Padres played each other in a close game. Though the Mets dominated early, the Padres were clawing back, trying to make a comeback. They ended up losing by 2, and this was such an even offensive matchup. Each team had 12 hits, but the Mets came out on top by 2 runs. Rick Porcello got the win, Garrett Richards got the loss, and Edwin Diaz earned his 21st save of the year. NL West baseball between the top team in the NL West, the Dodgers, and the bottom team, the Giants. And the top team prevailed in this one, 10-2, the final score. Julio Urias got the win, and Jeff Samardzija got the loss. Taking a look at standings now, starting with the American League East. The New York Yankees still at the top there, 49-33. The Blue Jays still in second, 47-35, 2 games back of the Yankees. The Rays are 40-43, 9.5 games back. The Red Sox 37-45, they're 12 games back. They've won 2 in a row. And the Orioles are still in last place. They're 34-48, 15 games back. They've lost 6 in a row and 8 of their last 10. In the Central, the Twins still have the best record in baseball and still at the top of this division. 57-26 is their record. The White Sox 50-33. They lost today. They're 7 games back. The Indians 46-36. 10.5 games back. The Tigers 32-50, 24.5 games back. And the Royals are 29-54. They've lost 2 games in a row now, and they're 28 games back of the Twins. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics won today for their 50th win of the season. They're still at the top of this division. The Astros in second place with a 46-34 record. They're 3 games back. The Angels are 40-41, 9.5 games back. The Rangers 34-49, 16.5 games back. And the Mariners still in last place, still without 30 wins. They're 29-54, 21.5 games back of the A's. The wildcard standings look like this. The White Sox still have the first spot with a 50-33 record. The Blue Jays and Astros have been keeping pace with each other. They're still tied for that second wildcard spot. Then you have the Indians clawing in as they've won 2 in a row. The Astros lost 2 in a row, and the Blue Jays lost today. So the Indians now a game back of competing for that second wildcard spot with the Blue Jays and Astros. And every other team in the American League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 6.5 games back of a wildcard spot. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals still lead with a 49-33 record, though they lost today. The Marlins are 44-38, 5 games back. The Braves 43-39, 6 games back. They've won 2 games in a row, and they're continuing to climb and shorten their number of games back for first place. The Phillies are 39-42, they're 9.5 games back, and the Mets are still in last place, though they've won 3 games in a row. They're 36-46, 13 games back of the Nats for first place. In the Central, the Cardinals lost today, which broke their winning streak. They're 48-34, though they're still at the top of the division. The Cubs 42-40. They continue to stay hot. They've won 7 in a row and 8 of their last 10. They're now 6 games back of the Cardinals. The Brewers are 38-42. They beat the Pirates today. They're 9 games back. The Reds snapped the losing streak. They're now 33-49, 15 games back. And the Pirates have lost 2 in a row. They got smacked by the Brewers today. They're 30-51, 17.5 games back of the Cards for first place. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers continue to lead, and they have a commanding 11-game lead over the Diamondbacks and Padres with a 55-27 record. The Dodgers were the only team from the NL West to win today. Every other team lost. The Diamondbacks have now lost 2 in a row. They're 44-38, as are the Padres, who also have lost 2 in a row recently. They're both 11 games back of the Dodgers. The Rockies lost today. They're 32-49, 22.5 games back. And the Giants lost to the Dodgers, who are in first place. The Giants are now on a 3-game losing streak. They're 32-50, 23 games back of first place. And here are the wildcard standings in the NL. The Diamondbacks, the Marlins, and the Padres all have the same record. They all qualify for the top wildcard spot. And so they're the top 3 you see there above the line. Now below it is the Braves, who are a game back with a 43-39 record. The Cubs also relatively in contention with a 42-40 record, 2 games back. Every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 4.5 games back of a wildcard spot. And taking a look at league leaders, starting with batting average leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera has the highest with a 348. Chris Davis second best with a 339. and Miguel Andujar third best with a 337. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a 374, David Dahl second best with a 347, and Jonathan Villar third best with a 346. Hits leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar has the most with 114, Miguel Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu tied for second best with 110. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 120 hits, Paul Goldschmidt second best with 111, and Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with 103. At bat leaders in the American League, Jose Abreu has the most with 343. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has the most with 347. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon has the most with 29. Giancarlo Stanton second best with 26. And Jose Abreu third best with 25. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 39. Christian Yelich 11 behind him with 28. And Nicholas Castellanos and Trey Turner are tied for third best with 25. Triples leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has the most with 6. Jose Altuve also tied for the top spot. He has 6 as well, and there's a two-way tie for third best. Stephen Piscotty and Adam Eaton each have 5. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has the most with 9. Victor Robles second best with 6. Chris Bryant, Hunter Pence, and Cody Bellinger all tied for third best with 5 triples this year. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton with 28, JD Martinez has 26, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Chris Davis, and Josh Donaldson all qualify for the third best spot on this list with 25. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has 30, Paul Goldschmidt 2 behind him with 28, and Freddie Freeman rounds up the top 3 with 21. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is at 78, Chris Davis second best with 71, and Jorge Soler third best with 70. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has 79, and it's a commanding lead. The next best player is Christian Yelich with 64, and Cody Bellinger rounds out the top 3 with 62. Run scored leaders in the American League, JD Martinez is at 62. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at 71. Stolen base leaders in the AL, Adalberto Mondesi has 20. D. Gordon and Malik Smith are tied for second best with 17. In the National League, Starling Marte has 28. Trey Turner second best with 27, just one behind Marte. And Jonathan Villar rounds up the top 3 with 22. Walks leaders in the American League, Shin-Soo Choo and Alex Bregman have the most with 53. In the National League, Mookie Betts stands alone with 58. On base percentage leaders in the AL, Alex Bregman has the highest with a 425, Miguel Cabrera second best with a 421, and Carlos Santana rounds up the top 3 with a 419. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a 469, Christian Yelich second best with a 433, and Dansby Swanson third best with a 422. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson has the highest, 656. 20 points behind him is Chris Davis with a 636, and JD Martinez third best with a 635. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt at a 744, Ronald Acuna Jr. behind him with a 727, and Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a 668. On base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the AL, Josh Donaldson at the top of the 1.072, and Paul Goldschmidt at the top of the NL with a 1.213. Moving on to pitcher leaderboards, starting with wins leaders in the American League. 2 pitchers now in the AL are in double digits. Kenta Maeda and Hyunjin Ryu each have 10, and Jake Odorizzi is third best with 9. In the National League, Walker Buehler is at 11, the only one in double digits in this league. Steven Strasburg second best with 9, and there's a large list of players with 8. Robbie Ray, Madison Bumgarner, Adam Wainwright, Jack Flaherty, Kyle Hendricks, and Jimmy Nelson. Losses leaders in the American League, Chris Bassett and Kenta Maeda still undefeated, which puts them at the top of this list. They have the least amount of losses. They don't have any. In the National League, Caleb Smith, Steven Strasburg, Walker Buehler, and Marcus Stroman all tied for the least amount of losses this season so far. They all have 2 losses on their stat lines this year. Saves leaders in the American League, Liam Hendricks is at 29, Brad Hans at 28, and Roberto Ozuna rounds out the top 3 with 25. In the National League, Giovanni Gallegos is at 30, Craig Kimbrell second best with 29, Will Smith and Kenley Jansen are tied for third best with 27. ERA leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has the lowest with a 2.38, Mike Minor second best with a 2.60, and Jake Odorizzi third best with a 2.67. In the National League, Marcus Stroman's at a 1.94, Walker Buehler second best with a 2.14, and Steven Strasburg third best with a 2.44. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Gio Gonzalez and Mike Minor have the least amount of home runs allowed this year so far with 7. In the National League, Marcus Stroman and Caleb Smith are tied for the least amount with 5 on this leaderboard. Shutout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka still at the top. They each have shut out 3 games this year. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has shut out 3. There's a 4-way tie for second best. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Merrill Kelly, and Walker Buehler all have 2 shutouts this season. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole has 144. He's the leader. Lucas Giolito second best with 126, and Carlos Carrasco third best with 119. In the National League, Steven Strasburg's at 141. 5 behind him is Clayton Kershaw with 136, and Robbie Ray third best with 129. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have thrown 3 complete games on the year. Jake Odorizzi and Aaron Savali have each thrown 2 complete games, which qualifies them each for third best on this leaderboard. In the National League, Aaron Nola, Jacob deGrom, and Zach Wheeler have each thrown 3 complete games, which ties them all for the top spot on this list. Innings pitched leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu has recorded 116 and a third innings, which is the most among AL pitchers. In the NL, Aaron Nola has 119 even, and he is the leader on this list. Walks allowed among American League pitchers, Carlos Carrasco is allowed the least amount with 16. In the National League, Brett Anderson's allowed the least amount with 20. Whip leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi with a 107, Carlos Carrasco second best with a 108, and Hyunjin Ryu third best with a 109. In the National League, Aaron Nola is rated a 1, Marcus Stroman second best with a 102, and Clayton Kershaw rounds out the top 3 with a 106. WAR leaders among pitchers in the AL, Shane Bieber has the highest with a 2.8, Masahiro Tanaka and Corey Kluber second and third on this leaderboard, each with a 2.6. In the National League, Steven Strasburg has a WAR of 3, Aaron Nola second best with a 2.9, Robbie Ray also has a 2.9. They all make up the top 3 on this leaderboard. Batting WAR leaders in the American League, Marcus Semion's at a 5.3, Alex Bregman and Yohan Moncada and DJ LeMahieu all have a 4.7. They make up the top 4 on this list. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at a 6.3, Paul Goldschmidt and Christian Yelich each have a 5.6. They're second and third on this leaderboard. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Friday, June the 26th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.